Welcome to My Hero Academia, Chapter 334 Review. This chapter is titled Parting Gift. Now, last time, Shigaraki had stolen Star and Stripe's quirk, but not before Star and Stripe made two final rules. One that called for herself not to decay, and then she decayed. But before that, she made a rule stating that her quirk, New Order, would revolt against all other quirks, therefore actively destroying Shigaraki's quirks. Now this chapter starts off a title page showing just Star and Stripe, how Horikoshi draws it, which is always a pleasure to see, but it really starts off with Shigaraki flying away, flying with the Nomu, trying to get his quirk passed off to another person. Because as long as it stays within him, he's got a good chance that he's going to end up dead. And the fighter pilots are shooting him and saying, "Don't let him get away, shoot the sucker down." As he's flying away, and Shigaraki's thinking, "Just before making my darling Nomu burst, I stole this wing quirk from it. I can make a getaway using my power in these wings. Someone else must receive New Order from me before I'm reduced to nothing." Years ago, and now we're seeing Star and Stripes mentality going, years ago, a Japanese student studying abroad saved me. I went for 8 tufts of hair, as Shigaraki thinks of All Might and just goes, "Once again, no matter what move I will make, there you are." As he uses his EMP blaster or something like that to shove all of the fighter jets away, and the fighter pilot's like, "Oh hell," as he thinks to when Star said, "I'll make sure your remains make it back to your loved ones," and he thinks, Star and Stripe, of course he surpassed him. You've always been the greatest hero. As we see what's left of her, some few ashes falling into the sea as she is truly gone. And then we cut to two convicts that got out of Tartarus, and one female and one male, and the female's going, "So TV ain't a thing anymore," and the guy, who we later find out his name is Kansho Kashi, I'm just going to call him Kashi, and Kashi says, "TV station workers probably evacuated to shelters. Good thing we still got lights and water and essentials to live on, even if the distribution is basically dead. And what kind of freaking idiot bursts out of prison and starts stirring up trouble in big cities? Smart guys like me booked it to the boonies for a second shot of life." As we see both of them fly back into the horizon as Shigaraki comes bursting into their place of residence, destroying everything, including the TV. As Shigaraki's there, just going, and Kashi yells, "A hero? Nah, not likely." As Shigaraki says, "I still have a chance. Mrs. Star likely assigned a new rule to her quirk that prevents it from residing among other quirks. In that case, I'll just steal this bystander's quirk. Once he's quirkless, I can grant him New Order and preserve it." As he grabs the guy's face, and then we cut again to Kathleen, or Star and Stripe, saying, "Nice try, idiot. Thanks to all those other quirks inside of you, my little revolt was the death of me. It's a real shame I couldn't kill you and finish the job, but here's some words of wisdom to remember, John Doe," as being that she doesn't know what Shigaraki's name is, so she's calling him John Doe. I personally find that pretty funny, as she thinks, as long as people stand up to save each other, someone will inherit that form of heroism, and make no mistake, they will strike you down. As she repeats what she said before, New Order revolts against other quirks. As we see All for One's part of the inner world vestige of Shigaraki and All for One. Yes, inner world stuff's weird. We see that All for One says, "Give it a rest. The winner is the one who lives the longest. So take a hike, dead lady." As thinks some hero, Midoriya, as we see a bunch of hands wrapped around Midoriya's head in this inner world. And then we cut. And we see the fighter pilot jets on the ground, and the top three Japanese heroes, Hawks, Endeavor, and Best Jeanist, looking around as we see some information saying the hunt for Shigaraki resumed immediately. Evidence of a struggle was discovered, but the villain had once again vanished without a trace, leaving the authorities back at square one. The entire world learned the death of the number one American heroes. The entire world learned of the number one American hero's death that very day, with the knowledge that even a hero currently held as the strongest has fallen through the threat. The nations of the world back down, as we see the Egyptian hero, I'm pretty sure, Salam, going, "I'm no longer being dispatched. We intend to abandon Japan to its fate," as the UN representative says, "Don't look at me that way, Salam. We only ask you not to abandon your own nation." As we then get some more text saying, the loss of a hero can mean a downfall for a nation. It was decided there was the greater need for heroes to protect their own homes than to save people of some far-off foreign land. So the dispatch operation was immediately put on hold. As we see the fighter pilot, one of her bros, one of Star and Stripes' bros, say, "But Star's death wasn't in vain." As All Might says, "Cassie, I wish I could have seen her." As the bro says again, "Each X-66 we rode on holds the data from the battle. They are recording each biosignature and analyzing every quirk during the fight. Hopefully data will provide a lead. No way you folks already don't have people studying that monster, right?" As we cut to the Central Hospital the next day, we cut to Central Hospital, and then we cut to the next day to UA dorms, the 1A dorm, and it says the next day, 2 days after Midoriya returned to UA, as Bakugo says, "A deadline extension?" and All Might says, "Yes, originally tomorrow was the day Shigaraki would have his body perfected, but now he'll be out of commission for at least a week. As a parting gift, Star and Stripe bought us time. We'll use this time to our advantage, and we'll take down Shigaraki all for one." As we cut to really the big three in Class 1A, Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki standing in front. And that's the end of the chapter. Now, one thing I sort of like to mention here is the title of the chapter, Parting Gift. It's pretty interesting. Star and Stripe's parting gift was buying them more time, but that's the point. But I do like how it's specifically shown that Deku does not have a new hero costume. He's just in one of the UA suits, or the gym costumes, pretty much showing that, yeah, there's no value to make support uniforms out there right now, so it's just going to be whatever we can get our hands on. So yeah, but don't really have a lot to say on this chapter. It finally seems like the whole Star and Stripe stuff is done for good now, that she will not be coming back, being that number one, she has decayed into nothingness, and number two, she's decayed into nothingness, and she's also seemed to serve her purpose in the story of delaying that time from Shigaraki. It does make me wonder if any of her so-called bros will come back into the story, being that they sort of have just been here to, seems like, to collect the data of, oh yeah, his quirk factors are destroyed, oh boy. And then, I'm wondering what happened to the Kaji kit guy, the Karakaburo Kanchi, the convicted robber and murderer. I'm wondering if he really has anything going on now, or if he is just flat out dead from Shigaraki's decay. But these are all things to wonder about, and that's the end of the chapter. I'm glad to see we're back with Deku and all that story, but it was a nice deep part to get to see Star and Stripes' new quirk. So yeah, thank you for watching, everybody, and this will be Glowplasma231 out.